Scattered throughout the turbulent history of Northern Ireland, there are countless myths and legends. As fantastical and whimsical as a lot of these stories may seem, if you were to trace back the origins of each tale, many are based around real-life occurrences. Even then, strange turn of events played a part, shaping the fates of everyone involved. At the beginning of the 17th century, Antrim Castle and its beautiful woodland estate were home to a soldier by the name of Sir Hugh Clotworthy. Despite its idyllic appearance along the banks of Sixmilewater, for his bride Lady Marian Langford, the castle was a place of loneliness. As often was the case, Sir Hugh was regularly away on military business, leaving his wife despairingly alone each time he left. It was during these times, Marian got lost within her thoughts. She longed for excitement, someone to confide in, just anything to break the monotony. It was a thought process she would soon regret. To pass the time, Lady Marian would wander through the woodlands of the castle grounds, taking in the grandeur and the peacefulness. That was until one fateful day, during one of her solitary strolls along the shores of Loch Ness, she heard a deep, menacing growl coming from behind. She quickly turned, only to be confronted by a huge, savage wolf. Marian froze to the spot, their eyes locked in a tense standoff as the wolf snarled and snapped. With each threatening lurch, it would inch closer and closer, stalking her with each step. Unable to move and paralyzed with fear, Lady Marian's mind raced. She felt her heart beating faster and harder as adrenaline began to whip up a storm deep within. Summoning every ounce of courage she had, Marian prepared a plan to flee. Slowly placing one foot behind the other, she began to back up. Her eyes remained transfixed on the large canine as it bared its sharp teeth. As she took another step, that's when without warning it happened. The beast bounded towards her. Marian quickly took a few more steps backwards, screaming in terror, before succumbing to sheer fear and collapsing in a faint. As unconsciousness enveloped Lady Marian, she watched helplessly as the wolf bore down. However, as fate would have it, she was not alone. When she awoke a short time later, her gaze fell upon an incredible sight. The wolf lay broken and motionless on the ground, mortally wounded. Standing guard by her side was an Irish wolfhound looking a bit worse for wear as it gently licked her hand. Grateful and in awe of her savior, Lady Marian, along with her wiry-coated protector, made their way back to the castle. It is here, within the safe confines of the walls, she lovingly tended to the brave hound's injuries, nursing it back to full health. Shortly after it recovered, and as quickly as it mysteriously appeared, the wolfhound disappeared without a trace. That was until a few years later, during a wet and stormy night, the fearless guardian once again came to the family's rescue. As the occupants slept soundly in their beds, silhouettes of armed men made their way across the grounds, silently advancing towards the castle. As they stealthily swarmed the perimeter walls, ready to strike at a moment's notice, an extremely loud, deep baying of the wolfhound pierced through the air. Startled, the wardens of the castle sprang into action and quickly lit a beacon fire on the ancient motte, revealing the enemy gathered below. Their cover now blown and cursing their bad luck, the men retreated without hesitation, as the boom of a cannon echoed high above their heads. As dawn broke, the occupants investigated the surroundings and discovered sitting on the highest turret was the figure of the wolfhound transformed into stone. Historians suggest that Sir Hugh went to great lengths to conceal the fact that he had commissioned the stone carving in 1612. He believed the effigy of the wolfhound's heroic role would ward off otherworldly enemies and serve as a talisman against nefarious opponents. His belief was so resolute that he stated that if the statue was ever removed, the Masserine family would rapidly decay. It was a prophecy that would come to pass 210 years later. Sometime within the 18th century, the statue was removed from the tower and moved to one of the estate walls. During a lavish Halloween party in 1922, a devastating fire swept through the historical building, leading to its demise. A tragedy that unfortunately claimed the life of a maid, and is said to ghostly wander the vicinity today. Shortly after, the Masserine family relocated to England. Today, the statue resides upon a plinth next to the restored walled gardens, keeping its ever-watchful gaze upon the residents of Antrim town. If you were to go walking in the early hours of the morning through this picturesque area, listen to what is around you. For when you least expect it, you may hear the dull thuds of paws, making their way towards you. Thank you for joining us for this tale. If you enjoyed the story, please like, share, and follow for more amazing stories. Have a spooky tale of your own? Drop it in the comments or send it to us. We might feature it next time. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and I will see you again by the campfire.